My name is Ethan Walker. I'm 36 years old and, until last year, I believed time moved in only one direction. I don't believe that anymore. What I'm about to tell you happened in December 2022 in a quiet suburb outside Madison, Wisconsin. Nothing about my life was unusual then. I worked as a claims analyst for an insurance company, lived alone in a rented house, and spent most holidays by myself. Christmas had never meant much to me. That changed on December 18th, when I found a letter in my mailbox that should not have existed. The envelope was plain, no return address. My name was written neatly on the front. Ethan Walker. Not typed, handwritten. What caught my attention was the handwriting. It was mine. Not similar to mine. Not close. It was exactly the way I used to write when I was a kid. Uneven spacing, slightly slanted letters, heavy pressure on the pen. I stood in the cold for almost a minute before opening it. Inside was a single page, folded twice. The paper was old, yellowed at the edges. At the top it read, December 24th, 1998. My hands started shaking. I was 11 years old in 1998. What the letter said: Dear Ethan, if you're reading this, it means you didn't listen. I don't have much time. I don't know how this works, only that it does. Do not celebrate Christmas this year. Do not put up a tree. Do not leave the house after sunset on December 24th. Most important of all, if someone knocks and says they are here for Christmas, do not answer. You already know what happens if you do. Ethan. That was it. No explanation, no emotion, just a warning. Childhood memory. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I remembered something I hadn't thought about in decades. When I was 11, I woke up screaming on Christmas Eve. I had told my parents I dreamed someone came to the house pretending to be Santa, but he didn't have a face. They laughed it off. I remember my father saying, "Too much candy and cartoons." But I also remember something else. For years after that Christmas, my parents never talked about it, never showed photos, never decorated the way they used to. By the time I was 13, Christmas simply stopped. December 24th. I tried to ignore the letter. I really did.
I told myself it was a prank, a coincidence, some kind of psychological trick. Still, I didn't put up decorations. On December 24th, the sun set around 4:30 p.m. Snow started falling just before dark. By 6 p.m., my street was quiet. No cars, no voices, no music. At 7:12 p.m., the power went out. The house went completely dark. That's when I heard the knocking. 3 slow knocks. Not aggressive, not urgent, polite, measured. I didn't move. Then a voice spoke from the other side of the door. A man's voice, warm, cheerful. "Ethan, I'm here for Christmas." My stomach dropped. I hadn't told anyone I was home. The voice continued, "You always loved Christmas. You always let me in." It wasn't shouting. It wasn't threatening. That made it worse. I backed away from the door, my heart pounding so hard it hurt. The doorknob began to turn, slowly. I heard something scratch against the wood, like fingernails searching for a grip. Then the voice changed, lower, closer. "You already opened the door once." I screamed for it to go away. The knocking stopped. Silence. For nearly an hour, nothing happened. Then my phone buzzed. A message. No contact name, just text. Look at the tree. I didn't own a Christmas tree, but when I turned toward the living room, there it was, fully decorated, lights glowing, ornaments spinning slowly as if touched by unseen hands. Beneath it sat a single gift, wrapped in paper yellowed with age. I didn't open it. I ran, barefoot, into the snow, down the street. I didn't stop until I reached my car 3 blocks away. I spent the night in a motel. The next morning, I went back with the police. The house was empty. No tree, no gift, no signs of forced entry. But the letter was gone. 2 weeks later, I found an old box at my parents' house. Inside were childhood notebooks. In one of them was a loose page, a practice letter, dated December 24th, 1998. Written by an 11-year-old boy. Written by me. The last line read, "If I don't warn myself, it comes back." I haven't celebrated Christmas since. And every year, on December 24th, someone knocks. I never answer.
My name is Andrew Collins. I live alone in a small town in Vermont, the kind of place where Christmas feels quieter every year. This happened in December 2021. I didn't believe in ghosts. I still don't like using that word, but I know what I heard. It started on December 21st. Around 3:17 a.m. I woke up to singing. Not loud, not close, distant voices drifting through the cold air. At first I thought I was dreaming, but then I recognized the song, Silent Night. I got out of bed and went to the window. Outside, under the street lamp across from my house, stood 5 people. They were dressed like traditional Christmas carolers. Long coats, scarves, gloves, snow rested on their shoulders, unmoving. They were facing my house, singing. Their voices were perfectly in sync. Too perfect. No mistakes. No breathing between lines. I watched for almost a full minute. None of them moved. Only their mouths opened and closed. When the song ended, they stopped at the exact same moment. Then they turned around and walked away, slowly, calmly, into the darkness. I checked the time. 3:21 am. I told myself it was a local church group practicing late. It was stupid, but it helped me sleep. The next night, I stayed awake. At 3:16 a.m. I turned off all the lights and waited by the window. At 3:17 they appeared. Same 5 people, same clothes, same spot under the street lamp. This time, they sang, "O Come All Ye Faithful." That's when I noticed something wrong. Their breath didn't fog in the air, it was below freezing. Mine did, theirs didn't. I opened the window slightly and called out, "Hey, who are you?" The singing didn't stop, not even for a second. Their eyes stayed fixed on my house, but none of them looked directly at me. When the song ended, one of them lifted their head, just enough for me to see their face clearly. Their eyes were completely white. No pupils, no reflection, just white. They left again at 3:21 a.m. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I asked my neighbor, Mrs. Hargreave, if she'd seen carolers. Her smile faded. She asked me what time. When I told her, she went quiet. Then she said, "They're singing to you now?" I asked her what she meant. She didn't answer. She just told me to lock my doors after sunset and not open the window again. That night, I searched online. I found a forum post from 2009. Same town, same time, same number of carolers. The post ended with one sentence: when they stop singing when you let them in on December 24th. They came early. 2:59 a.m. I wasn't asleep. They stood closer to my house now, at the edge of my lawn. They sang "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." I noticed something else. Their shadows were wrong. The street lamp was behind them, but their shadows stretched toward my house, long and thin, touching the front door. Halfway through the song, one voice separated from the others, still singing, but slower, lower. It spoke between the lyrics. Andrew, we've been standing in the cold. You used to open the door. My stomach dropped. I had never told anyone about the Christmas when I was a child. The year my parents died in a car accident on Christmas morning. The year strangers came to the door to check on me. The year I opened it. The singing stopped. All five looked directly at me. In perfect unison, they smiled. Their mouths opened too wide. One of them stepped forward. Let us finish the song inside. The doorknob turned. I didn't remember unlocking it. I screamed and ran to the back of the house, barricading myself in the bathroom. The singing started again, inside the walls, soft, echoing, close. I covered my ears until sunrise. The police found nothing. No footprints, no witnesses, but my front door had handprints on it. 5 of them, burned into the wood like frostbite scars. I moved out 2 weeks later. The house is empty now. But every Christmas Eve, according to the new owner, people gather outside at 3:17 a.m. and they sing, waiting for someone to listen, waiting for someone to remember, waiting for the door to open.